Hey team, let's talk about marketing business acceleration. Did you know that 90% of all data, and I mean all data that humanity ever created, not just marketing data, has been created in the last 2 years? Amazing, isn't it? Imagine this data explosion like a wave. As a hobby skipper, I love the ocean, but such a wave? And as a marketing technologist, I love data, but raw data is a far cry from actually usable information. You know, the transition in marketing from analog to digital created an explosion of data over the last 30 years that continues to accelerate every day. Suddenly, marketing went from a social science to being a data science, and from a purely creative discipline to a scientific discipline. And with that transition came power, influence, and respect. Marketing became a growth engine powered by increasingly sophisticated tools, but the sheer magnitude of big data has become a big problem for every marketer. So we turn to MarTech. Well, we call this the rise of MarTech, the totally unrestrained proliferation of marketing technology, tools, and services. Look at the elephant here on the left side. You know, from 150 tools in 2011 to more than 9,000 today. This is like 6,500% growth. All of that money spent. And yet, where are the investment in operational marketing? Here, have a look at the right side. The planning, the budgeting, the work and content. Those disciplines run on freeware, spreadsheets, PowerPoint, Word documents. Today, it is a shocking fact that the most popular tools among marketers used by more than 70% of marketing professionals at least 10 hours per week is Microsoft Excel. The reality is that marketers have automated very little in terms of running marketing. Let me emphasize this. Marketers automated a lot when it comes to approaching communication channels, but they are still working with the steam-powered tools of the 1990s when it comes to running the business of marketing. We call this the fog of marketing, a state of dysfunction that haunts the vast majority of marketing teams today. Once plans go into execution, visibility drops dramatically. Teams, systems, data, budgets, departments, and campaigns are dispersed and siloed. Plans are disconnected from activity. Spending is uncontrolled. Execution is ad hoc and unaligned with marketing strategy. No one knows whether marketing is adding value or helping hit any company goal. How is agility possible in this state? How can marketing hope to react to market disruptions and changing customer preferences, much less anticipate them? It cannot. One CMO recently described the situation to me that changing plans is like trying to turn a container ship by putting your hand in the water. Now, recognizing this state, a vast majority of CMOs, Forrester is talking about 64%, are planning to invest heavily in marketing ops. But here comes the catch. Many marketing operations teams are consumed with configuration of MarTech tools instead of giving CMOs visibility into how marketing plans are being implemented by dispersed teams. Data is comprised of snapshots of data disconnected from critical dependencies, which leads to a retrospective instead of a forward-looking strategic resource. You have all this episodic one-off planning processes over the year, or worse, shadow planning. And this prevents collaboration and it really inhibits creativity. This is a mistake. Marketing operations must play a critical strategic role versus being, the configuration resource for MarTech tools. There's a new trend. The marketing chief of staff. Forrester reports that 80% of the highest performing B2B companies already have a chief of staff to the CMO. And we are also seeing that first B2C companies are having active job postings for a marketing chief of staff, such as Pinterest, Wayfair, Deloitte, Capital One, L'Oreal, or our client Commerzbank. They already have a chief of staff. What's really needed is not more ops, more MarTech, more bodies in the organization, but a new operating model, a new way of actually running marketing. An operating model that clears the fog so that CMOs can get a transparent, up-to-date picture of all marketing initiatives, accurately track, spend, and justify budgets, rapidly pivot at the speed of the market, confidently answer C-suite information requests, and ultimately make better, clearer, faster decisions. You may be wondering what I actually mean by new operating model. So let me clarify. An operating model is just the way of doing business. An operating model is not software. There are many operating models for many different business processes. So let me show you two historic examples. Customer experience management is a methodology that seeks to optimize all the interaction that a consumer has with a company, including pre-purchase, purchase, and post-purchase. CX emerged in the 1990s as a new way to compete for customer loyalty and revenue. So this was not just quotes unquote marketing, but an operating model that spans the whole company. Today, it's consistently listed as a top business strategy, and 90% of businesses have a chief customer officer in place. Now, a marketing specific model, inbound marketing. Inbound marketing is a great example. It was introduced by HubSpot like 15 years ago. And inbound marketing promotes the bold idea that marketers should focus their attention on getting found on the web, inbound, instead of direct marketing and other interruption pushing the message into the market. It was such an influential model that it quickly gave rise to content marketing, search engine optimization, and several other modern approaches. Okay, now that we have clarity what an operating model is, let's go back to the new operating model for marketing business acceleration. Marketing business acceleration uses a comprehensive planning and spending framework, common taxonomies and KPIs, and real-time data transparency to help CMOs optimize marketing operations for the reality of today's market, to run marketing like a business. It liberates the CMO also. It liberates by providing clarity on the financial and business impact of marketing programs, the success of strategies and tactics, and the ability to course correct, capture new opportunities, and fund innovation. Specifically, there are 4 domains that marketing business acceleration applies to: planning, budgeting, work management, and marketing performance management. We call these the forgotten domains of marketing operations because so much attention, the elephant, has been placed on the MarTech stack, and these critical and strategic areas have been largely ignored. Let's look at one of these in isolation to understand the complexity involved. Consider a company like Estée Lauder, global multi-brand, multinational companies active in more than 50 countries with more than 70 sub-brands. Plans are created at headquarters, the initial plan, and then shared with widely distributed teams, thousands of marketers. Because global brands operate in multiple hemispheres, there is inherent complexity in just ensuring the right products are being marketed at the right time. The process of sharing is a process also of selling your campaigns to the decentral entities. Just imagine Northern Hemisphere has summer and the Southern Hemisphere has winter at the same time. Or look at the color white, which is a positive thing in the West and sometimes in Eastern countries a negative thing. So, the feedback from your decentral entities needs to be transmitted back to the headquarters where modifications are incorporated and budgets are assigned. And this whole process can take months. And plans are, massaged and tweaked to meet the needs of regional teams, passing through layered approval processes. And once these plans are approved, hundreds of individual projects, programs, and campaigns must be scheduled, taking into account the team structure, the skill set, the capacity. And this was just an example for one of the 4 forgotten domains for planning. We did not even start to talk about budgeting, work management, and performance management yet. And I can't because otherwise this presentation would drag on for hours, but you get the gist of it. Marketing business acceleration is unlocking capabilities. Like many other models, it starts with a maturity framework that enables businesses to systematically improve the effectiveness of each domain. The framework first unlocks visibility, then velocity, and finally agility. Visibility is about reducing or removing operational and data silos to achieve clarity and enable collaboration. It's the end of siloed departments with their own goals, tools, cultures, and even their own lingo. Your regions and departments work together and they can see what their colleagues are doing and how it all links back to common objectives. That's visibility. Velocity is the rate of speed by which your organization can get to market. To achieve this, you need a system that ties strategic decisions to objectives, plans, programs, and tactics, cascading rapidly through the organization and automatically updating work streams and delivery dates. Achieving true velocity is about optimizing workflow and productivity, where marketers create, stage, and route plans and budgets and purchase requirements for review through designated approval routes. This is not ad hoc anymore. Finally, agility is about improving your ability to change direction. This requires mastering the complexity that hundreds of data sources create in the modern marketing department, developing proper segmentation, identifying and aligning on KPIs, and enabling the proper measurement and analysis. When plans are based on historical data, they can be predictive in nature. Your marketing plans now have data integrity. Let's look at what I call the capability maturity model in one more level of detail, because marketing business acceleration is a journey. This detail here is heavily simplified. It's even more sophisticated. It's not easy, but let's have a look at it. So as for any domain, there are a set of best practices that need to be adopted and which, when embraced, unlock value. Let's look at planning. You start with clear, structured, and transparent plans in a single system of record. That's your level one. Then plans and purchases have defined review and approval process. And in a perfect world, supported by a system, of course. And at the top, your plans use past marketing performance to model future outcomes. So this is one example how marketing business acceleration can bring you from here to here, from zero to hero. Now, what does this mean in practice? What is visibility, velocity, and agility in practice? Let me just share two examples with you. Number one is team defriction. This first example is a B2B company, one of the leading manufacturers in the world of automotive brake pads, with over 1.2 million produced per day. I do find it rather ironic that a leading provider of brake pads is an excellent case study in marketing business acceleration, serving both the manufacturers on the one side and the aftermarket regional marketing teams on the other hand. They need to balance local needs with corporate strategy. Marketers around the world plan their budgets for different territories, cultures, and currencies. Each did this in their own Excel file, causing redundancies, manual effort, inconsistencies, and inaccuracies. And all this needed to be merged and reconciled, slowing time to market. Now, they have been on their journey for 4 years and they've come a long way. Today, they have a single, centralized, transparent system of record. More than 20 budget holders use it every day. It's flexible, but it still makes sure that the central and the decentral entities are synchronized. Reports are standardized, diagrams and charts are uniform, and they are speaking the same language. Invoices are automatically imported, saving time and improving data integrities. Now, as a second example, IKEA. IKEA is a global retail manufacturer, very well-known brand, about 450 stores in more than 50 markets, with more than 41 billion euros sold every year. 12,000 products are listed on their website. Imagine the complexity of managing the go-to-market plans for an organization of that size. You need to know that IKEA has a very decentralized approach so that each store is able to do a very localized way of marketing that fits to the very market where the store is in. So it's not a top-down marketing strategy. It's more like top-down inspiration, but then bottom-up execution. So many products, buyer segments, markets need to be synchronized. The company needs to be able to categorize these products, analyze marketing plans, and push best practices out to the field, like from store to store very quickly. Achieving greater visibility and control through a single platform, single source of truth, improve the commercial flexibility. not only quotes unquotes in the marketing, but it's also integrated with upstream supply chain and operations planning. This is critical. For example, if the Billy Book case goes on sale without the supply chain knowing about that, well, that would be a disaster. So this is not about efficiency. This is more than marketing resource management. It's selling more and driving a profitable business. Do you have a marketing business acceleration challenge? Here are 3 very common realities we find on enterprise marketing teams. If they look familiar, tell yourself it doesn't have to be this way, and start applying the same rigor, process, and structure to your internal operations, to the way you run marketing as a business, as you do in your marketing campaigns and programs. Remember the elephant? So if the goal of your marketing plan is to secure budget and not to drive outcomes, think twice. Is answering simple questions like, what is the current marketing plan and how are we doing against it? Is this requiring a huge amount of research, forensic, and guesswork? And when marketing numbers don't align with finance, you know which version of the truth the CEO will trust, right? And it's not yours. Uptempo is here to help. We are Uptempo, the leading provider of best-in-class enterprise marketing operation solutions. We help marketers to lead with confidence and love their jobs. We do that by helping marketers to plan better, spend smarter, execute with confidence, and pivot fast when you need to. Thank you.